So I just wanted to start off by saying Magigoo is actually pretty awesome, but it has one big problem. It's too expensive. In Australia, I pay around $40 to $50 for what is essentially just a fancy glue stick. That's where this comes in. It works just as well as Magigoo, and it'll only cost you around $2 a bottle. I found this recipe online by Reddit user Toaster and B Flat. This solution will work on nearly any plastic you throw at it other than ABS, but more on that shortly. Here's what you'll need. PVA school glue, 100% isopropyl alcohol, filtered water, a measuring device, and an applicator. The glue acts as the adhesive, the 100% IPA dissolves oils on your print surface and speeds up drying time, and the water dilutes the solution and makes it easier to apply. I originally got the applicator from this shop on AliExpress, but I found the foam tip actually disintegrated rapidly and ended up putting glue material all over the build plate. So I've recently purchased this 8-pack. It has extra tips you can use when it gets worn down, and apparently has high temperature resistance. So I'd recommend getting this instead. Just make sure you don't apply it to a piping hot build plate to ensure you get the best life out of each tip. I got the glue off Amazon. Any glue will work, it just has to be PVA based. I chose Elmer's clear school glue just because I don't want any white residue on the build plate or on the surface of my prints. I got the IPA from Amazon as well. There wasn't any specific details on the alcohol percentage, so I just went with 100%. As a lower amount may make it difficult to get the ratios right. So all up, it cost me $29.95 for the IPA, $21.18 for the glue, and $6.37 for the applicator. About $10 more than one 50ml bottle of Magigoo. But instead of only getting one bottle, I can get 13. Now I tried the ratio listed on the Reddit post, but it seemed like it wasn't enough glue. As I print with PETG a lot, I wanted to make sure it stuck down nicely, so instead of 1-2-2, I went with 2-1-1. This means 2 parts glue, 1 part water, 1 part IPA. So for a 50ml bottle, I used 20ml of glue, 10ml of water, and 10ml of IPA. Once the ingredients are in, shake the bottle up and you're good to go. As you can see, I still have loads of glue and IPA left to make many more batches. As I said earlier, this works on nearly every plastic I could throw at it. It kept parts stuck down really well throughout the print and loosened when they cooled down. It left the build plate looking nice when the print was done, and it didn't leave much residue on the bottom layer of the prints. It's super easy to clean off too. Just use some water and a cloth and your plate is good to go. This is PLA printed on a clean build surface with no glue. You can see there's no warping to begin with, and this is pretty typical of PLA because it's a very easy plastic to use. So this is PLA printed on the solution, still no warping, but it had some really good adhesion to it, and it'll be useful for ensuring your parts don't unstick during a print. This is PETG printed on a clean build surface with no glue. You can see signs of warping as well as cracking. This is PETG printed on the solution. It had some good adhesion to the build plate and all the warping and cracking is gone. This is TPU printed on a clean build surface, and this is about as far as I got. This is TPU printed on the solution, and it stuck to the build plate perfectly. Now I rarely print with TPU, and I ran out of time to dial in the settings perfectly, but the most important thing is that it stuck to the plate really well. Here is ABS printed on a clean build surface in an enclosure with no glue. Here are a few different attempts at different ratios of glue to IPA to water. It did end up sticking to some extent, but it still wasn't strong enough to keep the edges from warping upward, no matter what I tried. And I even tried using a stronger glue to no avail. I even applied it on its own without any dilution, but it still didn't work. I believe that due to the intense heat coming from the nozzle and the bed, the glue doesn't have a high enough heat tolerance and just can't adhere to the plastic. Now some people have said they got it working, so it may just be the glue I'm using, but if you're really adamant about printing with the most painful plastic in the world, then you'll probably be better off just using Magigoo. I'll leave a link in the description for all the stuff you need. If this video helped, consider subscribing to my Patreon. Thanks for watching.